talking and that's fine. Could you walk and talk at the same time? And it's my name, you're from that bag. So come move your back, let me call you a cab.
Alright, guys, welcome to another episode of Brand Academy. As always, my name is Bran and Mr. Wynn's twin brother. And so today we'll be talking about a super cool lesson. Well, actually, it was a lesson from yesterday. It's just part 2 of the lesson, which is on the inverse of trigonometric ratios. Okay, so let me get rid of my beautiful face here. Bam. All right. So you guys can write this. This is a brief overview from before. So yesterday we talked about how we have sine of an angle A, cosine of an angle A, and tangent of an angle A, right? So before we were given the angle, right? So we were given an angle, and we use this trigonometric ratio. We use this to find a side, right? Let me zoom in here. Okay, so yesterday we given an angle, and right, usually it equals some ratio, right? Whether the ratio was opposite over hypotenuse or some other ratio, right? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So we're given an angle and we use it to find a side. So how do you think the inverse is going to work, right? So let's say the inverse, or sorry, sine inverse of some ratio should equal angle A. Okay, so what this is for today, we're going to be given the sides, and we're going to use the inverse trig ratio, which is this, and we're going to use this to find the angle, okay? So that will be what today's lesson is about. Just kind of real quick, I'm just going to read this out loud. So sometimes the side lengths of a triangle are given, but not the acute angle. When you must find the measure of the angle, you will use the inverse of the trigonometric ratio. Okay, so this is brief definition right here. So I'm just going to look at the notation here. So if you have sine of angle A, which equals x, right? Where x is just some ratio. Okay, x is a ratio, whether it could be opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent, right? It's just some ratio. Then the inverse right here, to find angle A, you take sine inverse of that ratio. Okay. So we read this here as inverse sine, which means the angle when sine is x, right? Whatever that ratio is. AKA just saying whenever you have a ratio, we can always find the angle, right? It's like it's going backwards. So any inverse trig ratio is used to find the angle. So looking over here, right, we also have inverse of cosine and inverse of tangent. Okay, and again, this is used to find an angle. Okay. Just real quick, let's kind of take a look at your calculator here. So let's go to my camera. You're gonna try to find sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tangent inverse on your calculator. Okay, where it will be, it's going to be where sine, cosine, and tangent are. But to use it, you have to hit the second key, or for some calculators, you're going to hit the word shift. Okay, so I'm going to go to my calculator right now. Okay, so looking at the calculator, as you can see, this is my sine, cosine, and tangent button. The inverse button is right above it. So for my Casio calculator, I would hit shift. Dang it. I would hit shift, bam, to get inverse sine. And whatever ratio you want to put in, let's say like, 1/3, right? This will be the angle, 19.4 degrees, okay? So again, you hit second or you hit shift. Oh, actually, you hit shift and you hit the cosine or tangent button to get to your inverse, okay? So I was going to do some practice problems right here. So, looking at the example right here. So our goal is to find what angle T is, right? So our goal is to find what angle T is. So the question is, let's just set up what we have. So we're given which side ratios, right? So your first question to ask yourself, what side ratios are we given? So of course, easy enough, we have the opposite. And the 34 is the hypotenuse, right? So we're going to use our sine of angle T should be equal to the opposite, which is 29 over the hypotenuse. Now to solve for angle T, we have to use the inverse trig function. So it's going to be angle T should equal inverse sine of whatever that ratio is, which is 29 over 34. So to plug this in the calculator, again, just like in words here, you're going to hit second, then you're going to hit the sine button, and then by doing that, that will get you to your inverse sine, okay? So put this in your calculator. So clear this. So shift or second, inverse sine, and my ratio was 29 divided by 34. You're going to put a end parentheses here if you want. You don't have to. And it should be about 58.5 degrees. Just going back. This should equal angle T is approximately 58.5 degrees. Boom. That's it. Okay, so let's do we'll do number 1 together, and then 2 and 3 you can do on your own. So number 1 here. Okay, we're trying to find what angle T is, okay? Trying to find and measure angle T, rounding it to the nearest tenth. So again, we actually have an opposite, and this is my adjacent. So we're going to be using tangent of angle T equals 14 radical 3 over 34. Of course, setting the inverse, 14 radical 3 over 34. We plug this into our calculator. I'm going to do this one more time. Clear this. So I have inverse of tangent. We have 14 times radical 3. And so I actually want to make sure you get out of that radical by hitting the right button. Depending on your calculator. And it should be what? Divided by 34. So this right here is actually going to be incorrect if I hit enter, because what this is doing is using PEMDAS, right? It's just doing 14 times radical 3 divided by 34. So you want to actually make sure you group these together. 14 times radical 3. So to group it together, you have to include parentheses again to group that together. Okay, just so nothing gets messed up, to make sure the whole thing is divided by 34. So take a look at that one more time to make sure you group whatever is in the numerator properly, divided by 34. And so your angle should be about 35.5. Okay. And just some calculators have it, but here's another neat trick you could have done. There's this button here. It's like a fraction button. It actually makes it nice for you to put everything in order instead of using parentheses. Right, so you could have done that as well, just to use your fraction. So that is this button right here, right? That fraction button. So anyways, again, the answer we got before was 35.5. Okay, and that is your angle T. Okay, so right now, just pause the video and do number 2 and 3 on your own. And then when you're ready to check, you may unpause it. Alright, so here are your answers. Alright, not too bad. It's still the same process in terms of using the ratios of what's opposite, what's adjacent, and what's the hypotenuse. And you're literally just hitting second or shift to get to your inverse. Okay, so that's it for the notes. Down here, nothing too fancy. They're just steps on what to do when you're given certain information. But you guys may read through that, but it's nothing too important, I think. But if it helps you out, please read it. Alright, other than that, have a good day. Your homework is on the back of this worksheet. And I will see you guys, or Mr. Wynn will see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Have a good day.